Okay, we're looking at question 3 here. Find the radius and then state the equation of the circle with center of 0, 0. So if I just told you to find the equation of the circle passing through the point 2, 7, and that has a center of 0, 0, in general what we know is that an equation for a circle has the format of x squared plus y squared equals r squared. And that's true as long as its center is at 0, 0. If it's not at 0, 0, it has a different type of, it's similar, but it's going to be modified by a bit. But our focus is just the centers of 0, 0. Now, to get our radius, then, I could take my x coordinate and put it in for the x, so 2 squared, put the y coordinate in for the y, 7 squared, equals, and that will be my radius squared. Or I could just use my distance formula. The distance is the square root of the x squared plus y squared when we want the distance between a point and the origin. So really these are the same formula anyway. It doesn't matter which version you're going to use. 2 squared is 4 and 7 squared is 49. So my radius squared is equal to the sum of 4 and 49, which is 53. So that's what the radius squared is. The radius would be equal to whatever the square root of 53 is equal to. So it's probably 7 point something, 7.1, 7.2, something like that. I'll just do a double check on that. 53, hit my square root button, 7.28, so I was pretty close. So approximately equal to 7.28. Now when I go to state the equation of the circle, my equation of the circle is x squared plus y squared, and given that its center is at 0, 0, is equal to, and then I want to take my radius and square it. Well, if I look back to my work, on this line right here, this told me what the radius squared was already equal to. It's actually equal to 53. And so my answer, or my number that I'm using there, is 53. Or I could take the 7.280109889 and square that on my calculator. And when I square it on my calculator using all of the digits, I get back to my 53. However, if I were to use the 7.28, the rounded answer, I actually get 52.9984. And then I would be working with a rounded answer here. So we want to be exact as possible. We're going to use that value that we got for r squared when we put it into our equation. Okay, try the next one and then you can check your answer. Okay, if you've done part B, you should see that you get a radius squared of 137 here. And then when you square root that, you get approximately 11.7 units. But again, when I go to state my equation, I use the actual radius squared value, which is 137. So x squared plus y squared equals 137 is your equation for that. Now, question number 4 says determine if the point is inside, outside, or on the circle, x squared plus y squared equals 32. All right, so you have to think about what you're going to do here. This is a problem-solving question, and I hope that you think about it first before you actually jump into the answer here, because this will give you a chance to actually, try your thinking skills and then be able to get some support with where you're going. And hopefully we're going to build your confidence with these things, because sometimes you can fall into a bit of a trap of, okay, Mrs. Logan's going to give me the answer, so I'll just wait and the answer will go up. But challenge yourself. Try the question. See if you can figure out what you want to do to determine if it's going to be inside the circle, outside the circle, or right on the circle. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to think about that. If not, put me on pause right away before I start into the explanation. Okay, I know that this line has a radius, or not line, this circle has a radius of the square root of 32. And the square root of 32 is approximately 5.666, approximately 5.66. Okay, approximately equal to that. My exact answer is the square root of 32, so that will be easy to determine or work with. What I can do here is I can see how far is this point, how far is this one from the origin. Does its distance exceed the square root of 32? And in that case, if it's bigger, it's going to be outside the circle. If it's less than the square root of 32, it's going to be inside the circle, and if it's exactly equal to the square root of 32, it would be on the circle. So how far is this point from the origin? Now we know how to figure that out. We know that its distance would be equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared. So that would be the square root of 5 squared plus 4 squared. And that would give us 25 plus 16, but we need the square root of that. And 25 plus 16 is a 41. So this distance that this point is from the origin is bigger or longer than the square root of 32. So this one would be outside of the circle. Okay, so since this point is further from the origin, or is, yeah, this point is further from the origin than the radius, it is outside the circle. I do not write well on these things. All right, and then you could try that for the next one. Get your distance, and then compare it to the square root of 32 and decide if it's outside, inside, or on the circle. Okay, and if you calculated the distance for the part B, which is -2, -4, I found that the distance that point was from the origin was the square root of 20 units. And that compares to the square root of 32 in that it is smaller than the square root of 32. So that's what this symbol is here. It's the less than symbol. Okay, so let me fix that up. So the square root of 20 is less than the square root of 32. In other words, if we were joining that point to the origin, it's not as far away as the points on the circle that I gave you. So the point is inside that circle.